Hi there, this is Chinkee Tan, also known as Mr. Chink Positive. Allow me to share with you the 5 signs if a person is going to be poor. People have a lot of misconception about what it means to be being poor. Sadly, the real indicator of most people is based on their finances. Okay, I always tell people being poor is not only a financial thing, but it's an emotional thing. Do you know that you can have lots of money, but you can be also emotional poor? You can have lots of money, but you can also be mentally poor. There are a lot of indicators, but I want to focus right now on the real issues. The wrong perception of wealth. Okay, the wrong perception of wealth, the wrong perception to know if you are already on the way of being poor one day. So let us try to avoid this in order for us not to go towards that direction. Number 1, you have bills that you struggled to pay. You can barely keep up with the utility bills every month, like for example, the Meralco, the Nawasa. Apparently, you haven't stopped, or probably you have so much expenses that you spread yourself too thinly. And you are spending more than what you are really earning. So you're very anxious at the end of the month. And as a matter of fact, we have a saying in Filipino, minsan mas nakakatakot pa daw yung end of the month rather than yung end of the world. Because you cannot afford to pay the bills on time and you don't have a consistent source of income. That's the reason why you're stressed enough and you just settle to on hand-to-mouth existence. Ika nga, isang kahig, isang tuka, walang kahig, walang tuka. Second sign, in order for you to understand if you are already on our way of becoming poor, is what? You have an addiction. Being addicted is not only in terms of, like for example, drugs, or if not, some bad habits. But being addicted also, like for example, one of the best addiction probably that people are not aware of is shopping. Shopping means you buy things you cannot really afford, or if not naman, buying things on credit. You find pleasure in buying things, acquiring them, thinking that you would feel more secure, feel more happy when you own it. But in reality, once you have an addiction, you cannot have what we call as fulfillment and contentment. When you have an addiction, you always go for the latest. You always go for the newest fashion. So it's very, very important that you got to check if you are also have an addiction in terms of spending more than actually what you're making. Number 3, third sign, if you know that you are on your way on becoming broke or poor, you're expecting someone else to take care of you once you retire. You live on a mindset that your loved ones will take of you when on your needs, on your when you're already old and retired. Unfortunately, this is the reality that I've realized. Our loved ones have their own family that they need also to take care of. It's not because that they don't want to take care of you, but sometimes they cannot afford to do it. And this is the most painful part when it comes to expecting others to take good care of you when you are already old. The people you expect that will help you are the people who will at least help you. When you had money, they're there, they're present. When you had no money, they're not anymore present, they're absent. That's the reason why, my friends, don't ever expect that someone else will take care of you when you retire. There is no guarantee that people will help you and your loved ones will provide for every single need as a senior citizen. I just encourage you, you need to work hard for your retirement as early as right now. Don't expect that others will help you so that you can have a stable future. Number 4, fourth sign, in order for you to know that you are on your way of becoming broke and poor. The moment you lose your source of income, your only resort is to borrow. If your only resort is to borrow money, instead of fixing your expenses and working hard to achieve what we call as financial stability, you know what will happen? It could create a vicious cycle. It means to say that you don't have what we call as an emergency fund. The moment you lose your job, the moment you lose your income, what's the next thing that you will do? You will tend to what? Borrow money. And once you borrow money, you go back to the cycle. Mangungutang ka, and then pagkatapos ng sweldo, bayad utang, kulang, utang, bayad utang, kulang, utang. It's a vicious what? Cycle. That's another sign to know if you are already going to be broke and poor. And last but not the least, the fifth sign, the fifth and last sign, in order for you to understand if you are on your way to becoming broke and poor, you have the tendency to spend before you receive your income. The main reason why people stay poor is because that they develop the habit of what we call as borrowing. It becomes a trap for you, at the same time your loved ones. Why? Some people just, in order for them to get what they want, even though they can afford it, they tend to what? Borrow. Borrowing money and being in debt and then borrowing before the income comes is a way of what? Being in financial what? Stress. So if you find yourself in this type of situation, the first thing that I encourage you right now is to get out of this vicious cycle. What are the 5 things again? The 5 signs of a person if he's going to be poor and broke. Number 1, they have bills that they struggle to pay with, and they cannot afford to pay it on what? On time. Number 2, they have what? An addiction. Number 3, they're expecting someone else to take care of them once they grow old. Number 4, the moment they lose their source of income, immediately they will borrow money and get into debt. And number 5, they have the tendency to borrow money even before the income comes. Bottom line is, no one wants to become poor. And nobody wants to become needy one day. I hope this video blog right now enlightens you and challenges you to do something about it today if you are already in this financial cycle. So, let me ask you this question. What are the unhealthy spending habits that you are already creating right now?
Thank you for watching. If you want to keep on growing and to stay inspired, subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified. Always think positive.